I don't think my... Huh. There we go. That's something. What up, TT? Hey, did you get my comment, buddy? Hopefully you got my message, man. Blind Graphy. Patchouli Mojito. That sounds amazing. Tev, what up? Santana, what up? Joel, what up? Yeah, buddy. I don't know if I still have it. Let me check. Yeah, I just tossed it, but basically the decant was completely gone. And you can tell it had broken and exploded because your letter and the envelope were soaked, and it was dry by the time it got to me, but it was withered paper. So it smells like the fragrance that would work best with you is Nautica Voyage. Nautica Voyage smells exactly like that, but has way better performance, which was what you were looking for. So I would try that. I didn't really make out a prominent whiskey note in the envelope. But if you need to have a sharp whiskey, you might have to. I can't think of a different fragrance that goes whiskey, apple, and forgot what the other note was. But Nautica Voyage smells just like that envelope, but much better performance and projection, and it'll certainly get you really, really, really close. And it's a really cheap fragrance. I would recommend a different one with that note combo, but as far as if you want to find something like the fragrance you have, definitely go with Nautica Voyage. And don't get Nautica Voyage, any of the other kinds. There's like 5 different flankers of it. Get the original. Good to see you guys. Good to see all y'all. Got the bed bugs out, all that. Got the kids stealing their parents' phones and stuff. Good to see y'all too. Get back in bed. Mont Blanc individual. Okay, Santana, that's what's up. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you don't send decants without bubble mailers. You need a bubble mailer to send decants. Otherwise, it'll, even if it didn't break, it's likely that they wouldn't have allowed it to ship because you have to have it marked as hazardous since there's liquid in it. And it has to travel by ground. So, you know, try that next time and it'll definitely work out. Any other questions, guys? You know, we're doing Q&A today. Good to see all my regulars in here. How y'all doing? What is this community button? Community leaderboard. So TT's in for, oh, there's a community leaderboard as far as the, I see. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Thank you, TT. Appreciate it. What up, Lee? What up, Lee? Good to see you, buddy. Aqua Senzial, very nice. I like a Senzial and a Senzial blue. Very nice. Appreciate you, Skylar. What up, Mike? What up, Broly? I don't think about fragrances I hate that much. And I have a really open mind, so I don't really have anything in my collection I hate. You guys gotta stop taking your parents' phones, man. Did Naxos reformulate or no? I don't know, but I'll let you know. I have Naxos coming in this week, so I'll let you know if it smells reformulated. I can't imagine Naxos would be a formula that would need to be reformulated. Normally, a reformulation only happens if there was a previous note that had to be removed or if the company gets sold, and neither of those have happened. So I can't imagine Naxos being reformulated for any legitimate reason. I don't even know where you heard that. What up, Troy? Good to see you. Shout outs to Sydney. Let's see. I haven't, Lee. I haven't. Do you have Creed? I have a lot of Creed testers. I'm not a big fan of the House of Creed. So all of your usual stuff, I only carry in testers. The only one I have is original vetiver in bottle. And then I have a bunch of basically imitations of Absolute Aventus, Millesime Imperial, Bois de Portugal, Oud, Royal Oud, things like that. I'm not a big fan. I think Creed is basically, to me, the McDonald's of the niche world. So there's not much Creed fragrances even today with the new bottle presentations. You know, they're very kind of like cheap looking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a big fan of Creed at this point. Absolute Aventus is cute. Original Millesime Imperial is awesome. Bois de Portugal is nice. The original Royal Oud is really nice. But even then, a lot of stuff's reformulated. A lot of stuff with the bottle presentation is really cheesy now. I'm just not a... Creed is not the niche house I go to when I'm looking for niche perfumery. What else? Have you tried the new Coach EDP? New Coach EDP. Is it just a standard Coach for Men EDP? I'm not familiar with a reformulation of that. I mean, I've smelled Coach for Men original, but I didn't know there was a reformulated EDP. Yeah, Creed is very overhyped. But granted, you know, it's all about relativity. You know, what kind of fragrances do you smell on a daily basis? What do you own in your collection? I mean, if you look at my collection, you could see why I probably wouldn't be very interested in Creed. But Creed makes good fragrances. They don't make fragrances worth $300, $400, $500, and they try to get you guys to still buy them for that price. So if I want a Creed fragrance, you know, Off-Note Supremacy Collector's Edition, somewhere between Absolute Aventus and Hasavat. If I want original Absolute Aventus with a bit of a Versace Eros energy twist, I'm going to go Club de Nuit Per Show 1. Millesime Imperial, I'm going to go Milestone. If I want to go Silver Mountain Water, I'm going to go with Off-Non Supremacy in Heaven. You know, some of the other fragrances that smell really good, but they have terrible performance. You know, Virgin Island Water smells amazing, is a skin scent virtually, you know. Let's keep moving through these questions. You like Percival, Tev? Okay. I'm surprised you love Percival. Am I? Yeah. Yeah, no, I am. Thank you, speaker. Appreciate it. Armani Code Elixir is Code Absolute in a new bottle. Okay. I mean, Armani Code Absolute is a good fragrance, but I mean, I feel like, you know, you have Bleu de Chanel. Armani Code, to me, is essentially a less Bleu de Chanel, you know? So for me, it's like, if you have Bleu de Chanel, having Armani Code is redundant, vice versa. Mike, it's up to you, man. The great news is you get to pick, buddy. And the other good news is that there are amazing fragrances in all three categories. There's a new YSL Myself Absolute. I think YSL Myself needs something better. It's a very good fragrance, but it's not great. It's not special. Doesn't hold a candle to L'Homme. Doesn't hold a candle to Tuxedo, Baby Cat. Why? So, you know, I kind of feel like it's the same issue with Acqua di Gio. Like so many young kids today connect with the fragrance through Profondo. They've never even come across the EDT or the EDP or the Elixir or the Parfum, Perfumo. So even though it's a great fragrance, it's not the best in the lineup. But with myself is so far on the bottom of the YSL list. It's like when I see a lot of people like hyping up myself over of other YSL fragrances, you gotta wonder if they've even smelled any of the other ones. What do you think Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense for summer and for a 12-year-old? It's an amazing fragrance in general, and for a 12-year-old, it would be great. Just make sure that you get O Intense. Don't get Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Original. The performance is trash, so O Intense is really nice. Shoot, there's even another one. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, it's called O something. It's got the one Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. Even is very nice. You know, grapefruit citrus, really bright, almost ruby red grapefruit citrus type of fragrance. So Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever or Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue O Intense is going to be stellar for any age group. Coach Ferment EDP came out in 2025. Just ordered it after I tested it. Smells like another smoother version of Sauvage Elixir. Okay. Well, I'm glad that's doing you well. There's a new Maison Francis Kirkjohn called Kirky. Yeah, I smell Kirky. What's the best oil fragrance that has citrus? I don't do well with recommending what oil fragrance. I mean, doesn't every fragrance have oil? I know there's some fragrances that are water-based, but majority of fragrances have oil concentrate. I don't know how to answer that question. What's the best bang for the buck cologne? I mean, it depends, Mosh. I need a little more specifics. What's your opinion about Armaf Odyssey? I'm a big fan of Odyssey Homme Black. I think that's the best one in the line. Mandarin Sky, a lot of people love at first, but eventually they sell it. Honestly, everything from the Odyssey line is good. For me, though, gosh, that sprayer is like a Nerf gun. For me, though, where I'm at in my fragrance journey, I can only truly recommend Odyssey Homme Black, which is somewhere right in the middle. It's almost like Spice Bomb Extreme had a baby with Tom Ford Noir Extreme with a little tinge of Spice Bomb Infrared in it. This is an amazing fragrance, 8 to 10 hour plus performance, $20 banger. So that's the only one I advocate for, but Mandarin Sky, I mean, 70% of the Odyssey line is really nice. So, yeah, but again, as far as the scent bubble, when you see my collection and the caliber of stuff that I like, only one I can recommend is Odyssey Homme Black Edition. What do you think about Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense for summer? Already answered that. Any similar fragrance outside of the line for Stronger With You Parfum? I'm not a big fan of Stronger With You, Luke, only because, you know, we're talking vanilla, chestnut, spices, and they kind of, when you look at fragrances in that line, like kind of Angel Share-esque fragrances, the only thing that makes Stronger With You more unique is the chestnut. But Angel Share replaces chestnut with praline. So they're basically doing the exact same thing, except so let me put it this way. With iris fragrances, for example, you have a fragrance like Dior Homme Parfum, Dior Homme Intense, dusty, lipsticky iris. Dior Homme Intense is creamy, powdery, cosmetic iris. Dior Homme Parfum is a more ashy cosmetic iris. And it's like a softer, more fresher take on the creamy iris from Dior Homme Intense. But in the iris category, you go to a fragrance like Valentino Uomo Intense, which basically takes Dior Homme Parfum and makes it even more fresher by giving it kind of an Invictus Aqua Blast under the iris, and kind of is more of a Prada Luna Rossa Ocean take on Dior Homme Intense. So it's basically iris fresh with a little bit of the powder left. Stronger with You and Stronger with You Intensely, I don't like that they're basically just making Angel Share, but lighter and fresher, because it's a romantic fragrance. You can get away with that with Iris to an extent, because you can freshen up Iris to the point of it being more of a upscale casual. But with vanilla and praline and cinnamon and cognac and notes like that, it's really weird to dial that back. It's almost like, hey, I'm gonna go on a date and I want to have intimacy. And I don't mean like sex, I mean like intimacy, like you're pursuing a woman to ask her out or she's already your girl. So seduction, that whole that intimacy play there with the fragrance needs to be all in. I don't understand a fresh romantic take in perfumery. That doesn't make sense to me. If you're going for romantic and sweet, go all in. And I feel like Stronger with You compared to a fragrance like Angel Share blows Stronger with You out of the water, because even though Stronger with You is a good fragrance, it's half stepping the romance, or the romance. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sweet, but then it's like light, airy, and fresh. Then it's like kind of gourmand. It like doesn't know what it wants to do. Now, all that aside, Stronger with You is a good, great fragrance, but next to somebody wearing Angel Share or something heavy like an Angel Share, you know, Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé is like an all-in sweet type of fragrance. Those fragrances make more sense in the romance category. I don't really carry a romantic, intimate fragrance up here that's like light and fresh, because it just, by definition, it doesn't make sense in my head. Like, you want to go all in with it. My heavy romantic fragrances are heavy for a reason. Now, granted, that's different than like L'Homme by YSL. I don't mean heavy like projection and longevity. I mean heavy like accords. So the vanilla is robust, the spices are robust, the cognac is robust. In Stronger with You, it's a very Sprite take on vanilla and chestnut and spices. But a fragrance like this is very intimate, but has an extremely small sillage and scent bubble, because it's an intimacy, Netflix and chill type of fragrance, or a movie theater type of fragrance, where it doesn't project long, but if a girl walks past you or your girl is giving you a hug or something, she's going to find every excuse in the world to stay in your jacket. So you can play with projection and sillage, but I'm purely describing Stronger with You as a DNA. Like, what does it smell like? It really is weak to me. So I would always recommend like an Angel Share type of fragrance where you're going all in on the sweetness and you're not half stepping that. Let's see. Is there anything? Let me catch up real quick in the chat, guys. I don't know why, but Aqua di Gio, all of the line smells at least somewhat like a hospital. Not the smell for me. Okay. What do you think of Drake's new cologne? I just reviewed it, so check it out on the channel. We reviewed Summer Mink like 4 days ago. Terre de Hermes, good fragrance. Can you please recommend a soapy smelling perfume? Right here. Tom Ford Grey Vetiver EDP. Grapefruit and soap. Very nice. Executive type of fragrance right here. Soap and grapefruit. Lalique White, if you need a more affordable fragrance, 20 to 25 bucks, 100 ml. This smells like the color white. What I love about it as a fresh fragrance is it takes all the best features of fresh, clean fragrances. It's got the linen, it's got the soap, it's got a little bit of spice. This is soap, linen, citrus, and spices all in one. I just think it's the ultimate everyday upscale casual. Gosh, it's really hard to beat something like this. So that's another great soapy fragrance. Any other soaps? Even Imagination to an extent has a soap feel, but more of a citrus basket soapy feel. It's got more of a playful soapy feel. 90 Pure White from Banana Republic. That's linen and soap. So it really just depends how heavy you want it. If you want to go conservative, 90 Pure White Banana Republic. If you want to go professional with that soap take, Tom Ford Grey Vetiver EDP. If you want just a great everyday wear, soap-like fragrance, Lalique White. What about Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Summer Vibes? If you're going to get light blue, only get Eau Intense. Can you send me a cologne? I've really been wanting blue to Chanel. No. Fakar or Odyssey Mega? They're the same to me in terms of value, G. What about Rasasi? What's your thoughts on Kirky? I thought Kirky was real Kirky. I mean, Kirky to me as a MFK fragrance, I gave it like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Have you tried Jimmy Choo Aqua? Thinking about ordering it. It's like the only Jimmy Choo flanker that I actually like. I don't really know what to recommend over each other because Jimmy Choo Ice, Aqua, and Blue are virtually the same fragrance to me. It's like one goes blue, one's like blue Kool-Aid, one's like lemonade, and one's like lemons. So it's like, they're all the same to me. But I think the fragrance you chose would be fine. It's got good longevity. Jimmy Choo's known for making nice little complex bangers. They're nice. They still make dirty English. Of course they do. What's Armoff Supremacy in Heaven a clone of? Creed Silver Mountain Water. Odyssey Mandarin Sky smells like a feminine puke. Or feminine puke. No. Dude, like, there's so many reviews of Mandarin Sky online and everybody loves it. I just don't think it's amazing. I think it's a good fragrance. It's just, I don't carry it because with my collection, it would kind of be a waste of money. Light Blue Italian Love, okay. Creed Silver Mountain Water, Prada L'Homme Low is the best. It's pretty good 3L. I definitely agree somewhat. Never smelled like a fragrance, never smell a fragrance before buying, okay. Arabian Tonka, I'm not a big fan of Arabian Tonka, to be honest. Ajmal Silver Shade, haven't smelled it. Phantom Intense by Raban Thoughts. It's a good fragrance. I think I would only get a 50 ml of that fragrance, but if you're under 25, it's worth the 100 ml. I've never seen a 25 and under kid dislike any Phantom fragrance or any 1 million fragrance. I only got Dior, Elixir, Acqua di Gio, and all the Versace collection, but Valentino is fire. Yes, it is. Dolce & Gabbana, the one is the best winter frag. You are right in the world you live in. Where can I get niche frags for a good price? Anywhere. I mean, these days online, when I'm looking for any fragrance, I just Google it. Like, I have my usual sites that I go to, Fragrance by CA, Max Aroma, Joma, a couple other nook and cranny sites, Scent Split, Lucky Scent. There's a lot of places I go because you'll find that certain websites carry certain niche brands at a slightly better premium than others. But I just go down a Google rabbit trail when I'm trying to find the best price. When I'm shopping expensive, I try not to. Some people will push you towards like Facebook Marketplace and different groups and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of going that route just because there's just something about it to me that I'm not gonna spend buku bucks getting a used or potentially fake bottle from somebody that I don't know. If I'm having to pay a lot of money to do so. But you know, that is where people can get a lot of, I think when it comes to trying to get affordable niche beyond the affordability that's already offered on Max Aromas and Jumbo shops and Fragrance by CAs and all that, and Lucky Scents and all that, The best thing that you can do is plug into a fragrance community of people who are buying fragrances, because then if they want to trade or sell bottles, you're in a community of people that you trust. Outside of that, I think there are still incredible deals in the niche world. I was just I'm about to start getting a bunch of Javoy bottles, and Javoy bottles retail between $200 and $300, but I've easily been able to go on Google and find Javoy even olfactory and stuff like that. I've easily been able to find Javoy 100 ml brand new bottles for like 120, 130, which is an excellent price for Javoy, because I think Javoy is probably my favorite house right now, aside from Roja. So there's no real secret weapon to buying any fragrances at an affordable price, other than to just do research. The general market price is always the general market price. You're not going to find a steal anywhere. If you have a fragrance community of people that buy niche, you might luck out and find somebody you trust. But you know, I think the better question is not necessarily trying to find the lowest price as much as it is test fragrances. I think anybody who decants fragrances doesn't care about price as much, because most websites that sell niche sell them at affordable prices compared to what the retail price is. So what the question really is how much do you love the fragrance? If you really love the fragrance, you're not going to care about the $30 to $50 of savings that you're going to get by spending extra weeks trying to scour the world to find it, because you're really trying your fragrances. I think penny pinching in the niche world is for people that have a habit of buying fragrances they don't like. And now it's like, well, dang, how do I get the best price? Because I'm really just going to go buy another more fragrances soon, and I'm just trying to maximize my cost and all that. Like, you know, I look at it from my point of view, like one of my a couple Javoy bottles I'm picking up currently. Couple Javoys that I'm looking to pick up is Ombre Premier, Le Art de la Guerre, Pavilion Rouge, and Remember Me in 21 Conduit Street. All of those bottles I would pay either the lowest price I've seen them at, 120 or 250 for those fragrances. And if I find it a couple weeks later, $50 cheaper, I might be a little upset, but I know I love those fragrances, and I know it's money well spent at the end of the day, because I bought the Discovery set. So make sure you're trying all the fragrances and you're buying fragrances you love, not that you're curious about, and the money issue won't be as much of a deal, because you'll be buying fragrances a lot slower and you'll be buying guaranteed bangers. Hello, do they still make Dirty English? Oh, I already answered that. Versace Eau Fraiche is my daily. Okay. I prefer Eros. Eros is nice. Prada Luna Rosa Ocean EDT is so weak and doesn't project. The Le Parfum is 10 times better and stronger. Good to know. Hot take, Lalique Ombre Noir is way better than Angel Share IMO. I don't think you can compare the two. Angel Share is cinnamon, vanilla, praline, and cognac. This similarly has cognac in it and cinnamon, but the rest of the DNA composition is entirely different. This is a tobacco cognac fragrance. Angel Share is a more tobacco vanille type of fragrance. You know, tobacco, vanilla, cinnamon, pralines, cognac. It doesn't have tobacco. It's a more sensual, more all-in romantic fragrance. This is kind of an edgy cigar and cognac fragrance, which is way more rough-edged. They're both great fragrances. I don't really think you can compare the two, though. I think Angel Share would be like a dinner out with your girl, romantic, intimate. You're wearing it for her because it's something you know she would like to smell. When you wear Lalique Ombre Noir, you're wearing it because you like how you smell. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. I mean, the composition of this fragrance is actually quite different from Angel Share because you have top notes, I believe, of bergamot, mint, bergamot, mint, and papyrus, cinnamon, tobacco, cognac. I love this fragrance though. Man, this fragrance is so good. Ombre Noir is such a good fragrance. If you've ever doubted tobacco at all because either it's too harsh or it's too ashy or it's too cowboy-y, or like a fragrance like Tobacco Vanille, which is just such a good concept gone bad. If you want the smoothest tobacco and cognac, that liquor, that wet, dark liquor wrapped around just that nice pipe tobacco, but it doesn't just smell like tobacco and it doesn't just smell like cognac. It's got bergamot and mint and papyrus. It's got like a green minty citric brush over the top of it that just gives it so much personality. The tobacco and the cognac is 50-60% of the fragrance, but there's about 40% of just green, citric, minty goodness over the top. And that's a really interesting contrast of accords because typically with tobacco fragrances, you're either going to get dark incensey tobacco, which feels Middle Eastern, or you're going to get heavy vanillic nutty tobacco, which feels odd if the ratio's off. Givenchy Gentleman is mid. I agree with that. But Givenchy Boisé and Gentleman Reserve Privé is far from mid. I have to say again, the Linsumi is full boss mode, and for the office scent, you agree you want people to smell your bubble and have that in their mind rather than blasting it off you. What is the question there, Lachlan? I don't quite get your question, Lachlan. Maybe ask it in a different way. A better angel share slash Wajan, but with cherry. Wajan is amazing. In fact, I prefer Wajan over angel share any day of the week. Hey Carvana, what's up? Have you tried Arabiat Prestige? Absolutely, it's a wonderful fragrance. Can't find Kenneth Cole Reaction anymore, and you shouldn't. Soapy perfume would be Versace Dream. I don't know about that one, dude. Where's my test strips? Versace Dreamer for soap? I have an original Versace Dreamer that's 25 years old. If this is soap, I don't want it. This ain't the soap I wash my hands with. Top 3 aquatics. Right now, I'm absolutely loving Casamarati Mephisto. I think it's one of the coolest blues. I wouldn't really call it aquatic, but as a blue fragrance, it can make for aquatic. Oceania by Roja. Most interesting aquatic style I've ever smelled in my life so far in my journey. That's not saying much, but it is considering how big the collection is. That's an incredible aquatic. What other aquatics can I really speak on? Linsumi almost has an aquatic brush on super green, piney, papyrusy style. It's got an aquatic brush to it. You know, obviously we have to go Aqua di Gio. I prefer Profumo, but Profondo's probably the more aquatic of the two. Aqua Senzio Blue from Ferragamo is great. Yeah, those are some. Are there any other like super aquatic fragrances that I would have to shout out? This isn't really an aquatic, but I wear it for water, and that's Millesime Imperial. I think Millesime Imperial is the best by the water fragrance you can find. If I'm gonna be on the beach, at a lake, at a pool party, at a 5-star resort, hotel brunch, pool party, all that stuff, I'm gonna wear Millesime Imperial every time. Thoughts on Lost Cherry, Tom Ford. I don't like it. I hate it. I just think it's one of the most cheaply done. I've gone through a few of them at this point. I've gone through Electric Cherry, Cherry Smoke, and Lost Cherry, and I just don't like all three of them. I do have a cherry fragrance right now. I just don't want to recommend it. Do you have some light chocolatey? I don't know what kind of question that is, but I think the most chocolatey kind of fragrances I have is Bulgari Man in Black. Chocolatey. This is also chocolatey by Killian's Straight to Heaven. There's no chocolate accord in this, but it's so chocolatey. This is rum raisin and leather. And the leather is not cowboy leather. It's like a dark chocolate leather. That's the best way I can describe it. So picture a dark chocolate leather, almost not even chocolate. You almost have to say like cacao, like 70% cacao chocolate. You know, so let's call it dark chocolate leather and then rum raisin soaked over the leather. This is the coolest, one of the most unique fragrances I've ever smelled in my collection or in the world, period. By Killian's Straight to Heaven White Crystal. The only downside is the performance is absolutely awful. So they do have a Straight to Heaven Intense, which you have to get if you care about performance. This is just for a very quick occasion. Dinner with your girl, movie with your girl, lounge with your girl, nightlife with your girl. This is only going to give me like 2-3 hours of performance, even after I spray it 15 times on myself. But honestly, I don't care. It's one of the best smelling fragrances I've ever smelled. It's the same thing with YSL L'Homme. One of the worst performing fragrances of all time. One of the best fragrances ever for Netflix and chill. Rum Raisin Dark Chocolate Leather by Killian Straight to Heaven, no question. And then the other usual suspect that I would say if you're looking for chocolate is obviously Tom Ford Black Orchid, but a lot of people can't handle the floral orchid note in Tom Ford Black Orchid. So I always recommend this inspiration right here. This is Zara Man from Fragrance World. There are a ton of Tom Ford Black Orchid clones and inspirations. None of them smell as good as this. This is so good, it smells better than Black Orchid to me because they dialed down the orchid just a touch to make it more chocolatey, more patchouli, more Mexican chocolate. This is incredible. I would buy this. This is, I think, 30, 40 bucks on Triple Traders. That's the only place I've ever seen it is Triple Traders, which is also another good website for buying fragrance. But Tom Ford Black Orchid EDP, Zara Man over it every day of the week. And you can get that for about 30, 40 bucks. Monstrous projection, sillage, and longevity, 10 hours plus on like 4 to 6 sprays. It's quite crazy. I think you get about an hour and a half to 2 hours of performance per spray with a fragrance like this. Those are 3 chocolatey fragrances I'd highly recommend. Dude, I tried Grand Soir, blew me away. If you liked Grand Soir, next fragrance, go to day 3, not Tres Oros, which is this fragrance. Go to day 3 and get Ambar Dominicana if you loved Grand Soir. Grand Soir has that warm, caramelized amber vanilla, a little spicy, just so sexy, right? Ambar Dominicana is all of that, but more of a red tobacco take on it. So it's way spicier, way more bacheloresque, but it's almost like yin and yang. It's like a vanillic amber fragrance with 2 completely different personalities. And it's very luxurious. It's an extrait, 3 sprays will last you forever. Very sexy, date night type of fragrance from day 3. And I would highly recommend that. But Grand Soir to me is the only dominant vanilla fragrance I'll wear. Thank you for answering Soapy Perfume. What is it called? Lalique White and Tom Ford Grey Vetiver EDP. Tom Ford Grey Vetiver EDP. Have to get the EDP. Do not get the Parfum. I don't even think the EDT exists today. And then Lalique White. Lalique White you can scoop up for about $25. Tom Ford Grey Vetiver EDP, surprisingly, you can scoop up for about, in the lowest, $100. In the normal low is about $115. And you could get it for $100 to $115 on Amazon, actually. Game of Spades or Al Haramain? Probably Al Haramain. They just have way more fragrances than Game of Spades. Game of Spades is really just getting started. They have a lot of bangers, but not that many compared to Al Haramain currently. Al Haramain just has way... That's like saying, you know, what do you think about Initio versus Tom Ford? It's like Tom Ford has infinitely more fragrances than Initio. So even though Initio has bangers, they have less than like 15 fragrances in their set. That's like, you know, it's not really comparable. I found out all of my decants and bottles. The girls my age love Drake Summer Mink and Valentino Coral Fantasy more than anything. I believe it. Summer Mink is a very young man's fragrance because it comes off feminine, and younger men love sweeter fragrances. So since it's a unisex, feminine leaning fragrance, most 25 and under dudes' fragrances are feminine leaning because they're overly sweet. That's a very broad generalization, but you guys know what I mean when I say that. So it makes sense. Why you'll find that most men 25 and under love Summer Mink. Most men 30 and up utterly hate Summer Mink. And most 30 and up women like it, don't love it. And most 30 and down women love it. So I think it's a young person's fragrance. Have you smelled Arabian Oud by Dewan? No, I have not. Have you tried a whiff of waffle cone? Depends. Who's the house? I need a Boss Original. That's fragrance is old, Ebo. You can upgrade. Classic Giorgio for men. Okay. Living in the past, I see. Best summer fragrance. There's a lot of great summer fragrances. Millesime Imperial, Oceania, Mephisto, Harrods, Initio Musk Therapy, Fleur Narcotique, Equus from Lalique, Lalique White and Black, Bentley Momentum Unlimited, Aqua di Gio, pick whichever one you want, Mont Blanc Presence, Armaf Supremacy in Heaven, Cedrat Essence, Linsumi, Versace Eros, Vibrant Vetiver Delight. I mean, there's just so many fragrances you can go with for summer. I personally, right now, tomorrow, am probably going to go back and spend some good time with vetiver because I love vetiver. So I'm going with bright, warm, hot, ambery citruses on... I don't really want to say woods. I should say on grass. Vetiver Sensual to me, absolute summer banger for high heat. Can really go the distance. I'm just madly in love with that fragrance. But best summer fragrance, there really isn't a best summer fragrance. Most people that think of best summer fragrances wind up naming some fragrance that costs $50, $60 at a retail store. And that's just not true. You know, there's just so many more fragrances out there. I like Joma Shop, but they take forever. They do. What do you think Al Haramain Amber Oud Gold Edition? It's okay. You know, I give it a 7 or 8 out of 10 in the clone world. It's a 7 overall. Thoughts on dupes? There are amazing dupes and there are terrible dupes. If affordability is an issue or you're a collector, therefore you're trying to maximize your budget, they're a great option. I ordered Joma Shop for the first time, and it's been almost 4 days, and I still haven't had my order shipped. How long does it usually take for them to wake up from hibernation? well, they're called Sloma Shop for a reason. So if you're having, what I find most people don't do is you got to read the fine print before you hit the buy now. Joma Shop fragrances do not all ship out at the same time. When you buy your fragrance, the money gets put in a pending hold. In fact, they don't even get paid until the fragrance gets delivered to you. It gets held up. So if you look in the fine print, it'll tell you if that fragrance is available in the warehouse and will ship out in the first week, or it'll say 2 to 4 weeks, or it'll say 1 to 2 months. Most people don't look at that stuff. So then they go down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what's going on in their package, and they look back at it and it says, 6 to 8 weeks on it, delivery time, before it even ships. And now it's a fine print issue. So, I remember one time I was looking for this fragrance right here, Lin Sumi. I waited 1 month, and at 1 month, they still hadn't shipped it out yet. And I went over to Fragrance by CA, and it finally became available because this is always sold out. Went to Fragrance by CA, ordered it, and this fragrance came in 6 days and still came to me before Sloma Shop even had the fragrance in hand. Joma Shop will actually let you buy a fragrance that they don't have yet. So that's always the issue, is they catch you on fine print. It's really sucky. Have you tried Golf Orchid Mango Ice? No, as far as mango, there's really only 2 fragrances I would ever well, 3 fragrances that I would recommend right now, and all 3 of them are completely different. If you want the best tasting photoreal mango cream type of fragrance you've ever smelled, go with Wilhelm's Mango Skin. Amazing fragrance. If you want the best tropical mango, go with Day 3's Bani, B-A-N-I. If you want the most luxurious, for lack of better words, mango, then go with God of Fire or Vulcan Fue, which is its clone. Another fragrance, I don't think it has mango in it, but it just makes me think of mango, is Herba Gold. But the other 3 I named are probably the only mango fragrances you ever would need in your life, and you pretty much have the best of the best. Have you tried Sphinx fragrances? If so, which ones are your favorite? I haven't. A lot of people have told me about them. I will be trying those soon, but I don't have them in my possession yet. Just blind bought Leighton for $360. Oh, dude. If you can sell back your Leighton, get this fragrance right here. Lalique White and Black. To me, this smells exactly like Leighton, but better. Take a screenshot. This fragrance is only $25 to $30, and it smells like Leighton, but fresher. Great performance on it. Oh my gosh. I prefer this more than Leighton. There's so many Leighton renditions, especially with the Detour Noirs, and the Al Harmain alone makes a ton of Leighton renditions, but there's so many Leighton renditions out there. And I'm surprised that the best Leighton rendition is a designer fragrance that I actually like more than Leighton. Pretty crazy stuff. $25. Cancel your Leighton order and get that. You will be more than pleased. I'm going to Perfumology to get my nose on 8641. Heard it's crazy. I think, actually, no, I haven't heard of that fragrance. Best dupe for imagination, Sahib Intense. Don't ask me about the other fragrances. I don't care about Aqua Dubai. I don't care about Game of Spades version. I don't care about any of your Yaman Lail rendition of it. Don't ask. Don't ask me. This will always be the best rendition of Imagination. It is exact one-to-one Imagination in scent profile, longevity, sillage, and performance. Ignore how ridiculous this bottle looks, guys. Ignore that. Ignore the fact that you only get like 70 ml. This is imagination. Sahib Intense by Ard Al Zafran. I don't care. Everybody is going to make a video on YouTube and say, this is incredible, Aqua Dubai. This is incredible, Wild Card. Don't listen to them. Listen to the scent bubble. About 30 to 40 fragrances a month get purchased from recommendations I make on my channel. No clout chase, no dong swinging. I really could care less. I don't make money off of this stuff at all. I don't have affiliate links, nothing. When I tell you everybody and their mom will try to convince you for clickbait that they have the best imagination clone, they are lying to you. Those clones are really nice. Don't get me wrong. Those clones are really nice. But if you want to talk about 1-to-1, matter of fact, let's just set the record straight. I'm going to show you right now. I think in my Casa Marathi box, I may have, yes, I still have it. Okay. So this is imagination, okay? Shout outs to Aroma Dulce for giving this to me. He was like, hey man, you know, you're about to do your power ranking video on best imagination clones. Why don't you have the real imagination left on you? I have the tiniest bit of juice left. And I've confirmed this so many times. That's why I don't have much juice left. But side by side, let me get my test strips. I mean, guys, I'm the scent bubble, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I refuse to lie to the public about what's what. I don't care about the views. I don't care that LV Imagination is one of the top #1 search terms in FragCom. I'm not going to lie about clones. So that's imagination. I'm going to let that sit. Sahib Intense. Let those sit for half a second. What department stores carry MFK to smell? Maison, Francis, Kirkjohn. So you're thinking Bloomingdale's, Saks and Fifth, and Neiman Marcus are going to be your 3 go-tos if you want to smell MFK. I mean, guys, it's literally 1-to-1. There's no deviation in density of fragrance, in projection and longevity, because I've already done this test. Sahib Intense, no question, is the best imagination clone. Comparatively to some of your guys' star-studded ones like Full House and Aqua Dubai and all that, it beats them by like 5 to 10%. And that's a lot because those fragrances are like 90, 95% close. But this is 1-to-1, guys. And it's 1-to-1 throughout the day. I mean, the performance is equal. That's another thing. A lot of imagination clones are great for like 3-4 hours and then they just die out. So trust me when I tell you, I just proved it. We had the real imagination next to Sahib Intense. I would show you Aqua Dubai and all the other stuff, but I sold them. Or actually, no, I gave them away because other people can still enjoy them, but I'm not going to use them to lie to you and say they're better clones of imagination. They're just simply not. Here's the reality. Sahib Intense is harder to find. It's not hard to find. It's just harder to find. And this bottle looks ridiculous. So people don't want to give it a shot. But Scent Bubble gives it a shot. I don't discriminate. I have inspirations, dupes, designer, niche. We do this over here. I don't see names. I see juice. So I'm just going to tell you the truth. This is the best one. Okay. What do I buy if I need a winter budget vanilla fragrance? I can only recommend stuff in my collection, to be honest with you. A great budget winter vanilla is easily Lalique White and Black. Smells like Layton, so it does have vanilla in it. Fresh, but still is going to give you your 6 to 8 hours of performance, 25 bucks. You basically get a free Layton clone that's an actual designer fragrance. Great vanilla for winter. Another good vanilla for winter, harder to find, Halloween Man Shot. If you can find this, it's like 30, 35 bucks for 120 ml of juice. Pretty incredible. Works great for date night, works great as a smooth winter fragrance. Picture Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir without the tobacco. Any other vanillas, like pure vanillas, that are like affordable? I mean, obviously Versace Eros EDT. People forget the fact that this is the most complimented designer fragrance of all time. So the fact that you can, and the EDT has just as much performance as the EDP and the Parfum. So the fact that I could get 100 ml, which is the large bottle of Eros, for like 35 bucks online is pretty crazy. So, and that's vanilla, green apple, and some other stuff, but it's mostly a vanillic apple type of fragrance. Mint as well. It's got the freshness, it's got the vanilla, it's zesty. You know what I'm saying? So Versace Eros is another great winter recommendation, but it's also any season, any reason. Victor and Rolf Spice Bomb Night Vision, good for summer. It's a green fragrance, but it's kind of darker than fresher. I don't really think it carries well in the summer. The performance on Night Vision is not going to be good in the summer. If you want a green fragrance that'll carry, I recommend going with Parfums de Marly Greenly. You really kind of have to spend good money in the artificial green, sour apple, candy apple kind of thing. You kind of have to buy niche at that point if you want a green fragrance in the summer that will last more than 4 to 6 hours. I think Greenly is a phenomenal choice. We could say things like Coach Green or Night Vision, stuff like that, but I'm just not a big fan of those because the performance is absolute booty. Has your wife ever got mad at you for how many frags you own? No. What's up, Nikki? Top three compliment getting blues under $100. Under $100. Probably, people don't call Versace Eros a blue, but I do, because it makes me feel blue. So I would say Versace Eros, and then if we're going to true blues that are high compliment getters, obviously we have to say Aqua Essenzio Blue from Salvatore Ferragamo, Dylan Blue, and Bleu de Chanel, easily. What's up, Kale? True story, Gerald. I smelled Jean Paul Gaultier Paradise Garden, and it's one of the best smelling, in my opinion, for summer. Okay. It's a good fragrance. I'm not going to hate on that. Paradise Garden's a good fragrance. I mean, here's the thing, though. The Paradise Garden clone that just came out either beginning of this year or last year is like almost 1-to-1 to Paradise Garden. So you might as well get Paradise Garden for just like 30, 40 bucks, and it'll last you forever. What's up, Brady? What do you think of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense? It's amazing. But I think people are sleeping on Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever because that fragrance is juicy as crap. If you want a grapefruit take on Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue with good performance, get Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever, man. And that bottle looks awesome. What up, C2? Recently got my first fragrance, the new Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue EDT formulation. Okay, I'm sure you like it then, right, GW? Burberry Touch, the most underrated ever. I wouldn't say it's underrated because it's a rack store fragrance at this point, so everybody has it. Got a dip. Take care, TT. Appreciate you, man. And thanks again for sending that fragrance. Sorry with all the shipping issues that went on, man. Get Nautica Voyage. You'll scratch your itch. What's up, Slippery? Best Grand Soir clone, Lattafa's Eternal Oud. This, you know, it looks like Harry Potter's magic wand, but Lattafa Eternal Oud. Here's the thing you got to know about this fragrance. When you hear a term like maceration, this fragrance will teach you what the term maceration means, because the first time you smell it, you're gonna really be a little upset that I recommended it to you. But you let it sit on your shelf for about 2-3 months, and it dang near gets 1-to-1 Grand Soir. Easily the best Grand Soir clone, no question. When you first buy it, when I first bought it, I thought it smelled okay, but I wasn't a big fan of it, especially since the bottle looks so ridiculous. But 3-4 months down the road, I opened it up again and it blew my mind. Lattafa's Assad and Lattafa Eternal Oud might be the two greatest fragrances that need the longest time to macerate. I think my Lattafa Assad needed exactly 1 year to macerate before it became incredible. This took about 3-4 months before it became incredible. But it is, without question, the best Grand Soir clone. It's nice. It is very nice. Best LV Pacific Chill clone. Look up Lucia. So go on Google and type Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill clones, and once you see the clone from the house of Luciano, go with that one. No one's truly cloned Pacific Chill the best yet, in my opinion, but Luciano is the best one so far. What's your opinion on Versace cologne? It's really generic, and I feel like for the $30 to $40 price point, there's so many other better fragrances than Versace cologne as well as Versace Pour Homme. I mean, shoot, even if you just stayed in that realm and went Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, Mont Blanc Legend Blue, Dolce & Gabbana Forever, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever, Dylan Blue, Gucci Guilty Elixir. Honestly, guys, I don't even know why we're talking right now, because if we're talking designer, year-round, best smelling fragrance so far of 2025, in my opinion, it's Gucci Guilty Elixir Green Bottle. In the designer world, that is the best fragrance that has come out in a long time in the designer category. Dior Homme 2025 was not the best fragrance created. The new Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue rendition is not the best created. The new Burberry Hero Parfum is not the best. Trust me when I tell you, if you want a fragrance that feels niche, feels expensive, is extremely unique, yet you can wear it at any age, any season, any reason. You could literally just pick it up every day and nuke yourself with it, and people think you smell like the best stuff since sliced bread. Get Gucci Guilty Elixir, the green bottle. That is one of the best designer releases in the last 5 years to me. What about dupes, Kyle? Wore Vetiver Sensual today. You have to. You have to. It's a beautiful fragrance. See how quick I can catch up. Sorry, I meant Alhambra Amber Oud line versus Joe Milano Game of Spades line. Quality is comparable on those, Charles. Quality is comparable between the two. But you can't really... You can think that you can say certain houses are known for quality, but clone dupe inspired, inspiration, designer, niche, independent niche are all capable of making absolute garbage. So I could say something like Roja Parfums makes incredible fragrances, and they do. But there's also Roja fragrances that are garbage, absolute garbage. Not this one, not this one. But, so anyone's capable of making a bad fragrances. Some houses have more misses than hits, but in terms of the clone world, Al Haramain versus Joe Milano, there are great Al Haramains and there are great Joe Milanos, and both have misses for sure. Are you familiar with Arabia Prestige? Yes. Have you tried Swiss Arabian? Yes. The collection is looking pretty boss there, Bubble. Props, man. Thank you, James. Amber Oud is pretty good. It is. Hey, man, you recommended me Versace Eros EDT. Best lady getter out there. Hey, I tried to tell you, man. A lot of people are like, yo, Scent Bubble, why are you recommending me Dylan Blue or Star Walker or Versace Eros? It's like, listen to me, guys. Look at my collection. If I'm telling you to go back in the archives and get Eros, just listen to me, man. Just listen to me. I wear fragrances every day. New fragrances every day. I wouldn't lie to you. And I'm one of the few fragrance guys that at the tender age of 36, I can still discern recommendations based off who I'm talking to. I'm not going to give a 15-year-old the same recommendation as a 20-year-old. I'm not going to give somebody who lives in Chicago the same recommendation as I would give somebody in LA, where the climate would be different. Age, climate, where you are in your journey. That's why when you guys ask me a really generic question, I tell you I'm not going to answer it, because I give context. So if I tell you to get a fragrance, I've yet to see somebody buy a fragrance off of a recommendation of mine and say, you know what, this didn't match. You know what I'm saying? This, you know. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, buddy. Best chocolate fragrance is Cerezo. Okay, I'll trust you. Do you have the Hollister fragrance? No, never will. I'm black. No, I'm just kidding. Best Pacific Chill dupe, we already went over that. Is Blue Talisman good? Blue Talisman is great. Blue Talisman will feel very generic to most of you guys at first. So some people prefer Art of the Universe from Lattafa even over Blue Talisman, because Ex Nihilo fragrances, and currently I have 2 of them. I have 2 more coming. Ex Nihilo fragrances feel so much softer, but it's because these fragrances whisper, they don't scream. And most people only see performance as a thing where a fragrance screams. These are more alluring, whispering fragrances that have pretty solid performance. But yeah, Blue Talisman, since it comes from Ex Nihilo, it's a fragrance that lingers and whispers all day long. Has pretty good, 6+ hour performance. Sometimes you can get to 8, depending on your skin chemistry. It's a really slept on blue fragrance. I really like it a lot. But is it worth the money? To a new collector or somebody who doesn't have a lot of niche perfumery, it's not worth the purchase. But to somebody who has fragrances as much as this, it's totally worth the purchase, because when you finally get through all that there is to offer out there, you'll find that Blue Talisman is truly a unique blue. Same reason I feel the way I feel about Casa Mirati Mephisto. But I actually prefer Mephisto over Talisman, strictly on performance and longevity. And smell, actually, because it's just got so much more character as a blue fragrance than Talisman. But Talisman is very special. I think over time, more people will appreciate how special Talisman is. Right now, they won't, because they'll still be buying Art of the Universe and Taj 2. Vulcan Fue has been overhyped by these paid... Vulcan Fue is not overhyped, because God of Fire, or what is it? Is it God of Fire, God of War? Whatever that fragrance is a really popular fragrance, and Vulcan Fue has cloned it the best. So, to people looking for that fragrance as a nice, almost one-to-one copy of God of War or God of Fire, I think it's God of Fire, it should be hyped up, because they did an excellent job. I think people who think Vulcan Fue is overhyped are just people who don't like it because it seems like a generic mango fragrance. From that standpoint, I understand. But if you only knew how well it was done in comparison to God of Fire, it's worth the hype from that perspective. People don't like that Creed Aventus clones are still getting hyped. But the reality is, people love Aventus. And as long as people start continue to make fragrances that are really close to Aventus, People will love that. A lot of people hate Aventus clones, but it's really because they hate pineapple. They don't like the hype around pineapple and lemon, but that's okay. Context is everything. Can you describe how Liquid Brune smells? Liquid Brune is a more heavy vanillic take on Altair, which Altair from Parfums de Marly is a lot fresher, but I think you kind of get like a real cold weather vanillic spiced type of fragrance with insane performance. Dang, I just ordered Emperor Intimation. Oh, Emperor Intimation. That's okay. Intimation is a great imagination clone. It's totally not the best. But the great thing about Intimation is you get 120 ml of juice. You get insane amounts of juice. So I think Intimation, and we just gave Intimation away in a giveaway a couple weeks ago. Intimation is about 85% close to imagination, but you get 120 ml of juice. So it's like, come on, guys. And like, I got my Intimation bottle for like $11. It's insane. Imagination isn't all that, in my opinion. It's super overrated. Don't tell Charm City that. Blue Talisman smells good, but it only lasts around 2.5 hours on my skin. Not worth the money, IMO. I won't buy it again, that's for sure. Yeah, skin chemistry is everything. With Ex Nihilo's fragrances, honestly, I spray myself 20 times. And that really only gives me about 4 to 5 hours on 20 sprays. Isn't that insane? But I love Ex Nihilo. I think if you love what Ex Nihilo does, you have to buy extraits, but they only have extraits of about 1/3 of their fragrances. Like, I'm so upset with Fleur Narcotique, which is a great fragrance. I'm so upset I didn't get the extrait. I'm so upset. I didn't even know they had an extrait until that girl did a video. I forget her name. Taj or something like that. She did a video and she had a blue bottle of this. And immediately I was like, oh, there's an extrait. So yeah, I mean, get an extrait if you care about performance. I don't care about performance. I'm throwing my fragrance in the car, and I don't care if it has 1 hour of performance. I'm still rocking it, as long as the smell is incredible. But again, because of how you feel about Blue Talisman as a DNA being mid, you really don't even want to have it on in the first place, right? Do you have Lacoste Blanc? No, but that's an incredible fragrance. It's just in my journey, it doesn't really make sense right now. SB, I picked up Bad Boy Cobalt and YSL Le Male Parfum and Ralph's Club from your recommendation. I did not recommend Ralph's Club to you for sure, but, and I didn't even recommend Le Male Parfum because I recommended Le Male, I only recommend Le Male Elixir. So you might have only took Cobalt from my recommendation, but either way, good pickups. I've been trying to get myself a full bottle of Lin Sumi for the longest. I know, you have to go to Fragrance by CA or Joma Shop because they just sell out so fast. I have Night Vision, it's all good. I have no thoughts on it though, it's very mid. It is very mid, especially with the performance. Have you smelled Mephisto Gentle Uomo versus Mephisto? No. You know, everybody prefers in the niche world Gentile Uomo. But I'll be honest with you, there's something to be said about the fact of like not always following the hype, because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't hear about the other version of this until well after I had it. And I love this fragrance. Like, I don't feel upset about performance, sillage, the character of the fragrance. I absolutely love this fragrance. So for me, one day I'll be at Saxon Fifth or Neiman Marcus or Bloomingdale's or something. I'll be in LA and I'll get to smell the other version. For now, I have this and I have no problems with it. This is my favorite blue fragrance right now in my collection. No problems with it. So for me, and I'm not the type of person to smell a fragrance, even if it smells a little bit better or a little bit more interesting. If I love this fragrance, I love this fragrance. And I'm not going to buy the other one just because it might be better on paper. There's nothing missing in that fragrance to me. I absolutely love it. But yes, I have heard of the other rendition. And I do know that most people prefer it, apparently, over the other. But it's like, are you really going to spend the money for the original Mephisto and the other version? It's hard to get samples of both of those fragrances at the same time. So when were you ever in a situation, did you cop both bottles and spend a ridiculous amount of money and then figure out you needed the other one? This fragrance is so good, guys. You want one of the, this blue right here, honestly, if I only had this as a blue fragrance, it would beat every blue in my collection for the rest of my life and I wouldn't care. Like, meaning if that's the only blue I would take on an island with me and I wouldn't feel like I'm missing out at all. Oh my gosh, that fragrance is so good. Let's get to Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir. Yes, I love that fragrance. But I don't really call Blue Noir a blue because it's just a blue take on a sexy, seductive fragrance. So it's like, it's a romantic winter fragrance that they just put a blue spin on. But with the blue, it's not light, airy, fresh, or aquatic or any of that. So you can't really call it a blue just because it has blue in the name. Thank you for the Lalique reference. I literally just blind bought this too. We'll compare it to Leighton. Excellent. What about the new hype Cupid fragrances? I've never heard of them. 100% what SB said. Lots of my fragrances took longer to become what they are today. The word to remember here is patience after buying a new fragrance. 100%. Fat Boy Fragrance, what up? Luciano is the best of all the LV clones except Imagination. 100%. 100%. I agree with that. I'm glad you said except Imagination because that means you keep it real. Club de Nuit Iconic Blue worth it. Yeah. Yeah, Bleu de Chanel EDP. I mean, I can quickly test it for you real quick. Bleu de Chanel EDP. And Iconic. Where are you? Where am I? Man, that sprayer is like a freaking rifle. Did you guys hear that? Doof, doof, doof. Oh my gosh, it's projective. So that's Bleu de Chanel. Obviously, it's good. Where's my coffee? Yeah, spot on to me. Spot on to me. Especially, you know, my Iconic is like maybe a year macerated, maybe 6 months to a year macerated. 1-to-1 to me. The tiniest, I mean the tiniest, less than like 3 to 5%, tiniest bit fresher. But again, what in some ways Club de Nuit Iconic is better than Bleu de Chanel EDP because the little 3 to 5% trade-off in a slightly more synthetic, slightly less natural than Bleu de Chanel, you get an extra 2-3 hours of performance over Bleu de Chanel. So to me, when that stuff dries down on skin, the synthetics go out the window, people know it's Bleu de Chanel, and that fragrance is going to get you 8 to 10 hours without even trying. You're probably going to get about an hour to an hour and a half of longevity per spray with a fragrance like Iconic. So is that worth it? 100%. If you want a more natural take on Bleu de Chanel, go with like a Yaman Lail take on it. But I actually don't think that you want Bleu de Chanel to smell natural. I think that fragrance you really do want, I do prefer the projective synthetic take over the more natural Bleu de Chanel Parfum, because really what you're saying with the Parfum, as well as like Armani Code Absolute, is that you like the more natural, realer, denser, close-knit quarter take on Bleu de Chanel. But I don't think Bleu de Chanel or Armani Code is interesting enough as a fragrance to try and have a more niche feeling version of it. I think that's a type of fragrance you want to just travel across the room and be loud and go to the mall and battle test it and be outside and it's just going to stand up to everything. I don't think those fragrances as I want the more intimate version. I prefer the performance, but maybe I'm different. You know, obviously in a lot of cases, I do prefer the parfum. Like for instance, you know, in Versace Eros, the EDP and the parfum is better. Most men prefer the parfum. Most kids prefer the EDP. But at the end of the day, for me, the EDT is the only one you can spend $35 on and get a 100 ml bottle, and you're still going to get 10 plus hours of performance. The smell isn't going to be that much different. So to me, it's like, am I going to pay 50, 60 bucks for 100 ml of parfum just because I like it more? Or am I going to save my money and pay 35 bucks to get 100 ml, smell virtually the same, and still get the 10 hours performance, and then go buy another fragrance? You know, that was long-winded. For me, it's Aqua di Gio Elixir this year, and last year it's super. Let me take a. I'm going to test that theory, fat boy. Because to me, Gucci Guilty Elixir was easily the best release. Either, I forget if it came out in the fourth quarter of last year or the first quarter of this year, but either way, whatever year it fell into, 2024 or 2025, I thought it was the best designer release, period. Just off versatility and uniqueness of DNA alone. And the fact that, to me, it is probably top 2 best Gucci releases, period. But that's just me. I don't live in the designer world as much these days, but I leave no stone unturned. In 2024, the amount of times I was in a Sephora and an Ulta Beauty would make you sick. Worst release last year was worst release last year was Isola Soul. I want to know why you feel that way. And don't use performance as a cop-out. Tell me, outside of performance, why did you not enjoy Isola Soul? I'm not trying to spend a lot of money on niche. Do you have LeBeau and can you explain? Do you have LeBeau and can you explain the difference? The difference between what? Hot take, I really don't like Tom Ford's. Okay. Patek Mason is my favorite house. I don't know if you put your nose on them. Yeah, we just did a review of Marikai Bliss, I want to say, on my channel. Check that out. YSL myself and Eros EDT most complimented frags. Great stream, by the way. Appreciate you, Barry. I'd say YSL Y and Eros. Okay. I would say Eros. Dang, I'm late. What up, Kicks? Yeah, I know. I know. They never do. Do you like Lattafa? Yeah, Lattafa's good. I haven't forgotten about sending you the Million Golden Oud. I've been super busy. Hey, Scott, whenever you can do it would be great. Tashira PD. Yes, that was who it was. He's about to answer my question, and I just realized I said why I said instead of Loam. I love Coach for Men, but I can't find it anymore in Pakistan. Don't worry. Coach for Men is dated. I mean, it's timeless as a fragrance, but there's so many other great options out there. Don't worry about it. Appreciate you, Scott. Appreciate you. I think I'm going to head out. See you, Jag. Also a complete banger. Highly recommend it. Okay, Charles. I'll take a screenshot of that. Okay. Really enjoying this, man. Iconic for me all the way. Armaf is amazing. Amen. How is the Roja Oceania? Incredible fragrance. Probably one of the most unique oceanic style fragrances out there. You'll have nothing in your collection that smells like it to me, but the performance is terrible. I said, can you explain the fragrance? Oh, LeBeau? Let me do this for you. Because I just realized I finally got to the bottom of the list, which is nice. What is up? It's already 11 o'clock, guys. Dang. Yeah, so again, when it comes to Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances, I only recommend one, which is Le Male Elixir. But I can't even truly recommend Le Male Elixir these days because every Lattafa or Armaf rendition of Le Beau, Le Male Elixir, Le Male Parfum, there's Paradise Garden, there's now or Coral Fantasy. I forget. I always get Paradise Garden mixed with Coral Fantasy, whichever one applies to JPG. There's every clone of the JPG line is fantastic. Even the new release of Cod Lodge Island, you know, Kingdom, Lionheart. It's like there's so many. You don't have to buy a Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance anymore. All of the clones are 95% or better. As far as Le Beau, you have a real tropical coconutty experience. The accords on it is pretty simple. Bergamot, coconut, tonka bean. I find it to be quite basic in the rest of the lineup, to be honest, but it's not that long lasting. But what I will say is, like with Jean Paul Gaultier, I find everybody has their own favorite. You know, I think Le Male Elixir is the best. Some people prefer Ultramall. Some people prefer Le Male. Some people prefer Le Beau. Some people prefer Coral Fantasy or Paradise Garden. I forget. Everybody has a different favorite, so it's hard to really recommend everything. But really, with Le Beau, you're getting basically a tropical, coconutty, islandish type of fragrance that's really sweet and that has okay performance. I don't think it's worth it just off of the performance. But I would recommend getting Cod Lodge Island from Lattafa, I think. I think it's like a $30, $40 fragrance that you'll get insane performance and really accurate. Yeah. Best 1 million overall everyday use is Lucky, in my opinion. Yeah, but I mean, Elixir is good too. Lucky's great. But they all smell the same to me. I mean, I would go with Elixir or Lucky, to be honest with you. Those are the most popular ones I see. Ugh. Gosh, I really should wear like some good shoes. I'm not the best guy for standing barefoot. Should I try YSLY in place for Coach? Y smells nothing like Coach to me. If you want something that smells exactly like Coach for men, I would try, this is a really weird recommendation, but I would try Calvin Klein Defy. I think that's very close to Coach for men. YSLY is a great fragrance, but it's, at that point, you're changing style. Video on the Night Rush. Okay, Charles, I'll consider it. I have not, Ken. I was gonna say I think I have one in my new round of decants, but I'm not sure. Buying Chanel Egoist and Egoist Platinum, they are really good. I'll be honest, gamer, I prefer original Egoist over Platinum Egoist, especially since Armaf Legacy, Legasi, is a phenomenal rendition of Platinum Egoist for $20. But as a scent, I prefer regular Egoist over Platinum Egoist 100%. Man, I'm hungry, man. Intense Paradise Garden is very cheap here, just arrived in stock. Okay. I've never smelled Filthy Rich Dubai. Plum Cognac Vintage 24. It's nice, but it was a little bit pricey. Okay. DM it to me. When's the last time you... It's been a while. It's been a while, okay? Been a little bit. But I have dropped one. Giorgio for Men from the 90s was bomb. Do they still make it? The cologne, I don't think so. They do make the EDT. But yeah. Guys, it's been 90 minutes, hour and a half. You guys always make me go over an hour. I'm going to give you guys a minute or two. Post your questions. I'm going to answer everything, and then we're going to head out. I'll let you guys see the collection right now while I take a piss real quick. And then we're going to sign off. Gosh, the lighting really is terrible in here tonight, guys. I apologize. There you go. I'll be right back. All right. Last minute questions. Let's look through them. Giorgio Man, have you ever tried French Avenue Aether? Aether's a great fragrance. Takes a while to macerate. Little light at first, but it's a great fragrance. Nitro Red Intensely. Any experience with it? Yeah, it's a good fragrance, but I prefer Club de Nuit Milestone. Much better watermelon fragrance, in my opinion. What's your opinion about Rasasi Hawass? It's the same thing as Nautica Voyage or Invictus to me. Get Hawass Ice. It's better than original Hawass. Rasasi Hawass is a safe blind buy. Yeah, but that's not really saying much. I mean, Nautica Voyage is a blind buy. Versace Porhome's a blind buy. Dolce & Gabbana Original Light Blue is a blind buy, but they all suck. They're all boring. Boring! Any advice on finding purpose and one's destiny in life? Hey, man, this is a fragrance live, man. Q&A fragrances. We talking about fragrances, man, not destinies. Would you recommend going to a store to try colognes, then going home and buying one you like online? Yeah. Yeah. Buying retail today just makes no sense. You ever feel like you're being taken advantage of? That's what the fragrance world is. It's a big taking advantage of. It's really annoying. It's like when you find out, let me put it this way, and this is a great time to end. When you find out that most fragrance juices take less than $10 to actually make as a juice, and then you see what they're trying to charge you out there, you really start to wonder what value actually is. And you find that value is just what people say it is. But the problem of it is you are buying somebody else's opinion. You're not buying actual value to you. So, you know, should you ever buy retail? No, not if you're smart. Cool Water's old. Thoughts on the House of Replica? It all sucks, but I did review every replica fragrance. Just look on my channel. Larry, that's actually harder than you think, buddy. I mean, the stores that have them cheap lock them in cabinets, and pharmacy stores and stores that do testings charge crazy margins. I mean, everybody charges crazy. I mean, even the people selling the fragrance online is crazy. You know? I mean, think about it, guys. Look at this fragrance, right? Absolute Aventus. If it's true that Absolute Aventus costs less than $10 to make, right? And they're charging $300 for the fragrance. This company right here, Armaf, is selling this fragrance currently for $40. And they're still making millions of dollars. So at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, Creed is making a buttload of money, but the juice is so cheap that somebody can even come in and charge you $40 and still make millions off of you. That should tell you how cheap the juice is to actually make. And when you figure that out, it really puts everything into question. Flavored water is actually extremely cheap to do. They are capitalizing off of your lack of information, and it's sad. All right, guys. Hey, listen, man. I'm still messing with Amouage right now, man. Amouage and Xerjoff is very challenging. They do have commercial fragrances, but every fragrance is very original and unique, and they're harder to find. I'm still messing with all Amouage and Xerjoff right now, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, that's where I'm at currently. There's a lot of good selections, but I just don't want to say them on camera until you guys see my reviews. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Fendi. All right, guys. Hey, listen, I love you guys, man. If I didn't answer your question, please put it in the comments. You know I'm good for a reply, a quick reply, guys. New haul this week. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 new niche fragrances coming this week, I believe. So now I have to put that shelf down there, that shelf down there, that shelf down there, and we'll have a whole new row. Well, I think I could fit 25 there. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So I should be able to fit the next haul, which will probably be my last for probably another 2 months. I don't like to buy fragrances here and there over the course of 6 months. I'd rather just get them all at once, take a big long break, and just enjoy my fragrances. So new haul this week coming. We've still got a couple of discovery sets to finish, and we've got this massive jar of a bunch of stuff to still review. We've got imaginary authors. We've got a lot of Nishane. We've got some Xerjoff. We've got some Room 1015, Born to Stand Out. I mean, there's just a lot in there, guys, we got to review. So, and a lot of discovery sets on top of that. I got to finish my Javoy set. But love you guys, appreciate it. Put your questions in the comment section. I'll answer those for you guys. And until next time, this is the Scent Bubble. Stay blessed, guys. Stay tuned this week, man. Dropping episodes every single day. Appreciate any of you new guys who follow me. I drop 2 to 3 videos a day. Join.